Welcome to the European Association for Higher Education Advancement's YouTube and podcast channel. Today we're diving deep into something I know a lot of you are thinking about right now, prepping for grad school applications.
It's a big one.
Yeah, a huge topic. And to guide us, we've got this insightful article from the EHEA themselves.
Great resource.
Now, I know some folks might not be familiar, but the EHEA is kind of a big deal in higher ed, right? They accredit institutions, they certify professionals. They're all about raising the bar, which is exactly what you're trying to do by even considering grad school.
For sure. And that's why this deep dive is so valuable.
Right.
Using their expertise to your advantage.
Exactly.
So let's start with something that might seem obvious, but often gets overlooked, choosing the right field.
Okay.
It's not just about finding a program, it's about finding your passion.
Because let's be real.
Right.
Grad school is no walk in the park.
Yeah.
I once knew someone who dove headfirst into a super prestigious program, but it turned out their heart wasn't really in it.
Oh.
They ended up switching fields midway,
Wow.
which set them back a ton.
Yeah.
So how important is genuine interest when you're looking at potential programs?
It's huge. Think of it this way. Grad school is a marathon, not a sprint. You need that inner drive to fuel you through long nights, challenging coursework, and the inevitable setbacks.
Right.
Passion isn't just about enjoying the subject, it's about having the stamina to go deep, to really become an expert. A lukewarm interest just won't cut it.
Makes total sense.
Eh.
Okay, so we've got the passion piece, but what about the more concrete stuff? Like, how much do grades actually matter in this whole process?
A strong GPA definitely catches the eye of admissions committees. It's a signal that you can handle the rigor of advanced academics. They're looking for proof you can handle the workload and thrive in a demanding environment.
So it's not just about sliding by with decent marks. Does it matter which courses you excel in? Like, would crushing a research-heavy class hold more weight than, say, an easy A in some random elective?
Your spot-on specific courses can carry more weight depending on the program. Research experience is gold. Especially for research-focused master's or doctoral programs, it's like a sneak peek at your potential as a future researcher.
So for anyone listening who's even thinking about grad school down the line, picking those tougher research-focused courses now is a smart move.
Absolutely.
Even if they seem daunting.
Yes, building a solid academic foundation is key. And those challenging courses often force you to hone critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Those are invaluable no matter what grad program you choose.
Okay, we've got the passion, the grades. But this EAAE article keeps mentioning real-world experience.
Right.
What exactly does that mean when it comes to applying for grad school?
It means showing you're not just a bookworm. Graduate programs want to see you can apply knowledge in practical settings. Think internships, volunteering, even part-time jobs related to your field. Anything that proves you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Right, because experience outside the classroom shows initiative,
Yeah.
right? It proves you're actively seeking ways to learn and grow, which are qualities any good grad program wants to see.
Exactly. And the resourcefulness you develop in finding these opportunities is a skill in itself.
Okay.
Think about it. You're navigating different landscapes, proving you can adapt and learn in diverse environments. That's a huge plus for grad school.
For some students, though, finding those opportunities can feel like a whole other challenge.
Yeah.
Any advice on where to start?
Tap into your network. Talk to professors, advisors, even alumni in your field. Your university's career center is a gold mine.
Oh, yeah.
And don't underestimate online platforms for finding internships and volunteer gigs. It's all about being proactive.
So it's not just about what experience you have, but how you got it.
Exactly.
The initiative to seek it out speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a passionate, academically strong go-getter with real-world experience under their belt. Now comes the real test, the application game.
This is where things can get intense. Deadlines are often earlier than you'd think, and the application itself can be a beast. Resumes, personal statements, letters of recommendation. It's a process that requires serious planning and meticulous attention to detail.
Okay, I know a lot of listeners are probably sweating bullets just thinking about the personal statement. What makes a really good one stand out from the pile?
A great personal statement isn't a dry summary of achievements. It's your chance to tell a story. Why are you passionate about this field? What unique experiences have shaped your journey? It's about connecting the dots between your past, your aspirations, and the program's values.
So no cookie-cutter statements allowed. Each one has to be carefully tailored to the specific program, right?
Absolutely. Highlight the experiences and skills that resonate with the program's research interests and curriculum. Remember, you're not just applying to any grad school. You're aiming for a program that aligns with your specific goals and aspirations.
This is all fantastic advice, but I have to ask, should you go all in on your dream program, or is it wiser to apply to a range of schools?
It's great to aim high, but I always advise applying to a mix of programs. Include a couple reach schools, but also some that are more attainable based on your profile. This not only increases your chances of acceptance, but also gives you more options to consider, which can be super helpful once decisions start rolling in.
Which brings up a point I think is so important for anyone applying to grad school.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting in, it's about finding the right fit.
Yes.
So how do you advise students weigh factors beyond academics, like location, program costs, the overall culture of the department?
That's where things get really interesting. Think about the environment where you'll thrive. Consider the faculty, the research opportunities, the overall vibe of the program. Grad school is a huge investment.
Yes.
So choose a place where you can grow academically and personally. Don't just chase prestige. Choose a place where you'll truly belong.
This is gold. Okay, we've covered choosing a field you're passionate about, rocking those grades, gaining real-world experience, crafting a killer application.
Yeah.
What else should aspiring grad students keep in mind as they navigate this exciting but often overwhelming journey? What are some of the less obvious things that trip people up?
One thing I always emphasize is the importance of networking. Don't underestimate the power of building relationships with professors, mentors, and even fellow students.
Oh, yeah.
These connections can provide invaluable support guidance and even open doors to research opportunities or internships you might not have known about otherwise.
So it's not just about hitting the books, it's about building a community around your academic pursuits.
Exactly. Grad school is a collaborative endeavor. The more you engage with others in your field, the more you'll learn and grow. And who knows, those connections you make in grad school could end up being your future colleagues or collaborators down the line.
That's a great point. Now, thinking back to our discussion about real-world experience, you mentioned internships being a big plus. But what about those of us who maybe haven't had a formal internship yet? What other kinds of experiences can we highlight to show we're not just all theory and no action?
That's a great question. It's all about demonstrating transferable skills.
Yeah.
Think about any experiences where you've had to problem solve, work in a team, communicate effectively, or take initiative. Maybe you led a project in a student organization, volunteered at a local nonprofit, or even held a part-time job that required you to think on your feet. These experiences might not seem directly related to your field, but they show you have the skills and qualities that are essential for success in grad school and beyond.
So it's not just about ticking boxes on a resume, it's about showcasing the skills you've developed in any setting. Something I remember struggling with when I was applying to grad school was figuring out who to ask for letters of recommendation. Felt like such a high-stakes decision.
It definitely is. Letters of recommendation can make or break an application. Admissions committees rely on these letters to get a sense of who you are as a student and a person beyond your grades and test scores.
So how do you choose the right people to ask? What qualities should you be looking for in a recommender?
The most important thing is to choose recommenders who know you well and can speak to your strengths and potential. These should be professors, mentors, or supervisors who have directly observed your work and can provide specific examples of your abilities and accomplishments.
So that professor whose class you aced but never actually spoke to might not be the best choice.
Probably not. It's more about the quality of the relationship and their ability to provide a personalized and compelling recommendation. A generic letter that simply states, "You got an A in their class," isn't going to carry much weight.
And how far in advance should you ask for these letters? I imagine professors get bombarded with requests, especially during application season.
It's never too early to start cultivating those relationships and letting your potential recommenders know about your grad school aspirations. But in terms of formally requesting the letters, give them at least a month's notice, if not more. This gives them ample time to craft a thoughtful and well-written recommendation that truly reflects your strengths.
That makes sense. And what about the content of the letters themselves? What are admissions committees actually looking for? Are there specific things they want to see highlighted?
They're looking for evidence that supports your claims and the rest of your application. They want to see that your recommenders corroborate your skills, experiences, and potential for success in graduate studies. A strong recommendation letter will go beyond just grades and provide specific anecdotes and insights into your intellectual curiosity, work ethic, and contributions to the academic community.
It's almost like a mini narrative that complements your personal statement, adding another layer of depth and credibility to your application.
Exactly. It helps paint a more complete picture of who you are as a student and a potential member of their graduate program.
Okay, let's say you've aced your application. killer grades, glowing recommendations. A personal statement that makes you sound like the next Einstein. But then you get hit with a curveball, the interview.
Ah, yes, the interview. It can be nerve-wracking, but it's also a valuable opportunity to showcase your personality and passion. Remember, admissions committees are looking for more than just academic brilliance. They want to see if you're a good fit for their program's culture and community.
So how can applicants prepare for these interviews and make a positive impression? Any tips or strategies you can share?
Preparation is key. Research the program, thoroughly familiarize yourself with the faculty and their research interests, and be prepared to discuss your own goals and aspirations in detail. It's like a mini defense of your application. You need to be able to articulate why you're passionate about this field, why you're drawn to this specific program, and what you hope to achieve. And remember, it's a two-way street. It's also an opportunity for you to ask questions and get a better sense of the program and its culture.
I always tell people to have a few thoughtful questions prepared in advance.
Oh.
It shows that you're genuinely interested and have done your homework.
I couldn't agree more. It demonstrates your initiative and intellectual curiosity. And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through. Be confident, be enthusiastic, and be yourself.
That's great advice. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that often gets overlooked in the application process. Standardized tests like the GRE and the GMAT. Do these tests still hold as much weight as they used to?
It really depends on the program. Some programs are moving away from them, while others still consider them an important factor in their admissions decisions. The best approach is to check each program's requirements and see how much emphasis they place on these tests. If they are required, give yourself ample time to prepare and take them multiple times if needed to achieve your desired score.
So it's all about doing your research and understanding the specific requirements of each program. Now, I know this whole process can feel incredibly overwhelming at times. What advice do you have for students who are feeling stressed or burnt out?
Remember to prioritize your well-being throughout this process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take breaks, engage in activities that bring you joy, and connect with loved ones for support. And don't be afraid to reach out for help if you're feeling overwhelmed. There are many resources available, from academic advisors and mentors to online communities and support groups. You're not alone on this journey.
That's such important advice. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure and forget to take care of ourselves. Speaking of support systems, how important is it to have a strong network of people to lean on during this process?
It's absolutely crucial. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and your aspirations. Whether it's family, friends, mentors, or fellow students, having a supportive network can make all the difference. They can offer encouragement, guidance, and even just a listening ear when you need to vent your frustrations.
It's like having a cheering section to help you through the tough times.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's brainstorming ideas for your personal statement, practicing for an interview, or just needing someone to talk to, your support system is there for you.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. But before we move on to the final stage of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the importance of finding a program that's the right fit for you. What are some key questions students should be asking themselves as they're evaluating different programs?
That's a great question. Beyond the obvious factors like location cost and program ranking, there are a few key questions you should consider. First, what is the program's research focus? Does it align with your interests and career goals? Second, what is the faculty like? Are there professors whose work you admire and would want to learn from? Third, what is the program's culture and environment? Is it collaborative and supportive? Does it feel like a place where you could thrive and grow?
Those are great questions. And I think it's important to remember that fit is a two-way street. The program is evaluating you, but you're also evaluating the program.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions and dig deeper to make sure the program is the right fit for you. After all, you'll be spending the next few years of your life there.
This has been incredibly insightful. It's amazing how much goes into crafting a successful grad school application. It's definitely a journey that requires careful planning, strategic decision-making, and a lot of hard work. But it's also an incredibly rewarding journey.
Absolutely. It's about pursuing your passion, deepening your knowledge, and preparing for a future that aligns with your aspirations. It's an investment in yourself and your future.
Okay, let's take a quick pause here to gather our thoughts. We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still more to explore. We'll be back in a flash to dive into some specific strategies for navigating the grad school application process and making sure your application truly stands out.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to delving into some practical tips and insights that our listeners can put into action.
And we're back for the final stretch of our grad school deep dive. We've talked about passion grades, experience recommendations, even nailing that interview. But now let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the application itself.
Ready to tackle those forms head on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've laid the groundwork, but I know there are listeners out there who are still feeling intimidated by the whole process. Where do you even begin putting all this advice into action?
The first step is simple but crucial. Carefully review the requirements and deadlines for each program you're applying to. Don't assume they're all the same.
Which, as you mentioned earlier, are often earlier than people realize. Don't wait till the last minute to start this process.
Exactly. Rushing leads to mistakes. Give yourself plenty of time to research, gather materials, and craft those applications with the attention they deserve.
Okay, so we've got our deadlines marked, we're organized, but then comes the dreaded personal statement. I know this is where a lot of people hit a wall. Any advice on how to approach it without feeling totally overwhelmed?
Instead of seeing it as a hurdle, think of the personal statement as your chance to shine. It's an opportunity to tell your story in your voice. What makes you unique? What experiences have shaped your path?
Easier said than done, right? Many people, myself included, struggle with self-promotion. It can feel awkward to talk about your accomplishments.
It's true. But remember, this isn't bragging. It's about showcasing the skills and experiences that make you a great fit for the program. Highlight the things that demonstrate your intellectual curiosity, your passion for the field, your potential to make a meaningful contribution.
So it's not just a list of achievements, it's about connecting those achievements to the program's values, showing how you'll be an asset to their community, right?
Precisely. Weave a narrative that makes the admissions committee excited to have you in their program. Make them see you as someone who will not only succeed academically, but also enrich their community.
Okay, personal statement check. What about the resume? Does it need to be a masterpiece too?
While it doesn't have to be a work of art, it does need to be clear, concise, and tailored to each program. Highlight the experiences and skills that are most relevant to their research interests and curriculum.
So if you're applying to a research-heavy program, you'd emphasize your research experience, publications, presentations.
Exactly. And if you're applying to a program that values practical experience, you'd highlight internships, volunteer work, anything that shows you can apply your knowledge in real-world settings.
It's all about understanding the program's priorities and presenting yourself in a way that aligns with those priorities.
Think of it like this. You're building a case for why you are the ideal candidate for this specific program. Your resume is part of that argument.
This is all fantastic advice.
Yeah.
But I have to ask about something that still causes a lot of anxiety for applicants' standardized tests, the GRE, the GMAT. Do they still hold as much weight as they used to?
It's a mixed bag. Some programs are moving away from them while others still consider them important. The best approach is to check each program's requirements and see how much emphasis they place on these tests.
And if they're required, give yourself plenty of time to prepare. Don't underestimate how much effort goes into getting a competitive score.
Absolutely. There are tons of resources available, prep courses, practice tests, online communities. Use them.
Okay, we've covered application components, deadlines, tests. Anything else aspiring grad students should keep in mind as they embark on this journey?
Don't forget to take care of yourself. The application process is stressful, so make sure to prioritize your well-being. Take breaks, connect with loved ones, do things that bring you joy.
That's so important. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure and forget to take care of ourselves. This has been an incredibly informative deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from choosing a field to crafting a standout application.
And hopefully our listeners feel empowered and equipped to tackle this process with confidence.
I agree. It's a challenging journey, but the rewards are well worth it. Pursuing your passion, deepening your knowledge, contributing to your field, it's an incredible opportunity.
And remember, even though it's competitive, don't get discouraged. Focus on putting your best foot forward, and don't be afraid to reach out for support along the way.
Couldn't agree more. There are so many people rooting for you, advisors, mentors, online communities. You're not alone. This has been another fantastic deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
My pleasure. I wish all our listeners the best of luck as they embark on their grad school adventures.
And remember, even though we've reached the end of this deep dive, your journey of learning and growth is just beginning. So stay curious, stay persistent, and never stop pursuing your dreams.
Beautifully said.
Please don't forget to follow the European Association for Higher Education Advancement on YouTube and social media.